Did he say okay?
Yeah, you're selling markets here?
Is everyone signed in? Anybody else out in the hallway who would like to sign in? Right?
What we can do, we can take some sheets out there so they don't have to come in the middle.
It's 1,400 hours, so we have to start calling the calendar.
Oh, look at you with your military.
I serve.
You're a class act giant. My boy giant.
Patrick?
I'm sharing with you.
No. Pledge.
Good afternoon. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, August 20th, 2025, 1,400-hour meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
I do. Do we have any civilians in the house? Okay. All right, so just for your information, a lot of you haven't been here before, so the manner in which we conduct the hearings will be as follows. This is always the way we do it. First, we'll call for any adjournments. If there are any adjournments, we'll get them out of the way. And the hearings are conducted as follows. The applicant first makes their case. If there are any people who object, they'll be given the opportunity of voicing their objections. With this group, I don't think there will be any or many. And then the applicant will sum up, at which point we'll close the hearings. The hearings are videotaped. They're archived. You can look at them at your leisure if you wish to do so. So they're all on the town website. All right. We have a court reporter. Court reporter will take down everything so that we have a. My word, we should have gotten a bigger hall. Sorry, you're a little cramped, but can we get more chairs, Patrick? Pardon? All right. This is the first time we've had a standing room only crowd in a long time. However, start calling the cases. Patrick, are there any requests for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, we do have one request for
Okay.
adjournment. It is case 1314 of 25, West Hempstead, Aaron Zelig. Variances, height, lot area occupied exceeds number of stories, side yards aggregate, construct three-story dwelling, demolish existing dwelling and detached garage, also known as 308 Elm Street. Your name and address for the record.
Dominic Minerva, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Street, New York. I'm the attorney for the applicant, and I understand there's an application for an adjournment.
Yes, I'm Tamar Haratunian.
Hold on.
Could you
gotta speak more
please speak into the microphone
Absolutely.
as slowly as possible?
Sure. Tamar Haratunian. Still can't hear me?
Not
Let me,
really.
let me try
Tap
this.
it, make sure
Is
it's-
this? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
going
can pick it
to
up.
sit if you don't mind.
Go
That way.
right ahead. Go right ahead.
Just transcribe it all. and
Understood.
It's harder to
Understood.
hear, especially with our heaters going.
No worries. Tamar Haratunian, we're from Lit Law Group, 66 North Village Avenue in Rockwell Center. We represent one of the neighbors.
Okay.
And I had put
Have
in a
you,
letter for-
have you just been retained?
Yes, we were just retained like
Okay.
Friday or whatever, so.
Dominic, would you like to say anything?
No, in recognition
You-
of the board's longstanding policy to
Right.
grant first request for an adjournment, we understand the matter will be adjourned. We're requesting October 1st, if that's available and, convenient for the board. at the 2 PM calendar.
Does that work for you
That
also?
should be fine.
Great.
Patrick?
October 1st at 2 PM works.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
What time is it, Patrick?
2 PM.
2 PM. Mr. Chairman, we'll begin with case 45325 through 45425, North Belmore, Matthew Corliss, variance, lot area occupied, maintained wood deck attached to pool, variance, side yard, maintained generator attached to dwelling, also known as 1614 Blue Street.
More guys.
Matthew Corliss, 1614 Blue Street, North Belmore, New York.
Mhm.
I am the homeowner.
Can you also pull the mic a little closer?
Will do.
You're here because you wish to maintain a wooden deck attached to your pool and to maintain a generator that's attached to your dwelling, is that correct?
That's correct.
They're both already installed, I take it?
They are.
And to
Let's
maintain
maintain.
the deck, you need a variance of lot area occupied. You're in a Residence B zone, I'm pretty sure, so you're allowed 27.5%. What are you requesting in order to maintain your deck? What's the lot area occupied you would need?
I believe the lot area right now with the deck is 33 point something percent.
Let me see
Hold
here if
on
you
a
have it
minute.
on your, yes, I see here on your plot plan, the lot coverage, 1692 square feet. You have a 5,000 square foot lot, so that's a request to occupy 33.8% of the, is that about right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then for your generator, appears you need a side yard variance. You're usually required to have 5 feet. Let's see if it says here what you'd like to have. Oh, that gives me lot area. Oh, let's see here. Huh, you didn't put the numbers
No
on.
way.
Do you know what the setback is on the side yard that you propose next to your generator?
I would say it's about, I would say right now it's about a foot.
About what?
It's
1
about a
foot?
foot off the property line.
Yeah, I see it here, but without a number. Becky, is there any?
Pardon? 4 feet.
So you're proposing a scenario where you move it from what it currently?
No, it's already installed and it is 1 foot off the property line.
So he needs a 4-foot variance.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay. I would like to have that on the.
on the record. Do we have it on
I just wanna put
anything?
it on the official one. No, I need the yellow document. Here, can we just have someone put on here an initial so that the materials show?
That it's 1 foot as opposed to
Just needs it on there.
5
Date
feet.
initial, please. And other than these 2 variances, there's no other relief you request today, correct?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Also, I have 2 letters from my neighbors on each side that butt up
We'll
to the
accept
property with the generator as well as the deck. That,
And they are the people most impacted by this application,
yes,
correct?
sir.
All
And
right,
they
we'll
have- they
accept
have-
those in evidence.
they have no objections, so I will.
Sorry, Chair. Do that in your face. Want to give me that file? I'll do it.
Thank you. That That's it.
Is there anything else you'd
Anything?
like to tell us about the case, sir?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Corliss, you'll receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed?
Have a nice day.
Have a good
I
day.
thank the board for their time.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Next, we have cases 45525 through 45925, Levittown, Washington E. and Catherine F. Lara. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, rear yard, maintain addition and raised patio, both attached dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain accessory structure, outdoor barbecue, special exception to maintain second accessory structure, shed, not permitted in side yard, and with lot area occupied variance, maintain pool equipment, pool filter, with less than required side and rear yard setbacks, maintain pool equipment, pool heater with less than required rear yard setback, also known as 35 Springtime Lane East.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue in East Meadow, appearing as the agent for the owners, Washington E. and Catherine F. Lara, owners of the subject location, 35 Springtime Lane East, which is located in Levittown. Respectfully requesting all 5 cases be heard as one.
So granted.
So I'll try to make this as easy as possible. It's all outdoor equipment that's causing the variances. There are a number of cases that we have here. Property is 8,209 square feet. It's an irregular shaped property located in Levittown, which is an LPRD zone. The applications were filed in 2023 to maintain and legalize existing conditions after research was provided to determine what needed to be filed for to secure the proper permits. There's a vinyl shed located in the south side rear yard at 80.19 square feet at 8 feet in height, used for pool and yard equipment. There's a side yard setback is 5.4 from the south side property line. The
Shed is the second accessory.
yes, and that's, and now the second, well, now the second accessory structure would be the barbecue, which is considered an accessory structure similar to the shed, and it's located in the rear yard, and it's on the raised patio itself. The third item, the maintaining, is the dwelling renovation, which is a one-story addition, which is a 12 by 12 addition to the rear yard. It's like a laundry area, as noted on the plans. And also the raised rear paver patio, which has a semi-in-ground pool. That's what's causing the major variances in reference to the lot area.
How many feet off the ground is that?
That's, I have that number for you. It goes from 2 feet to 2 foot 10 inches, and it's all brick paver, there's no wood. The fourth item is the pool equipment, which is located in the northeast corner of the property, which maintains a 3.5 setback from the north and east side yard for the pool pump, and 3 feet from the east side yard for the pool heater. The deficiency is 0.5 feet and 1 foot, which is from the zoning code.
Mr. Pavone, can you tell us, all this said and done, what's the lot area occupied you propose?
Getting to that now. That's my next one. The fifth item, which is the raised rear paved patio, that increases the lot area occupied for the dwelling and the addition. The regular, or what was approved way back when the house was built, was 18.1%. It's now at 35.4%, but the overall lot area occupied is 5.4% over, which is approximately 441.28 square feet. And that has to do with the size of the property, which the average size of a Levitt property was around 6,000 square feet. This is 2,200 more square feet over. So we have a large property, which allows them to go to 30% in an LPRD, but still is a minimal variance for the lot area occupied. And it does meet the actual brick pavers, meet the building code of the state of New York, because it's a fire-rated material, it's not a wood deck. So overall, the variances itself are minor variances due to the size of this property and the yard shape of the property. These were done over the years, and they needed the pool. After COVID, everybody was looking to have a pool in their rear yard. They knew that they were under duress. They weren't able to go out, so they put the pool in and put the pavers in with the patio. It's very well maintained. I did submit, which was updated to the portal, 2 letters of no objection from surrounding neighbors. The existing conditions, again, are well maintained, and it doesn't have any adverse impact to this property or surrounding property.
Mr. Pavone, can you just give us, for side yard aggregate, and rear yard,
Yeah.
just the
Basics.
net, when everything's included?
So you have approximately, for the raised patio, the raised patio has a .4-foot setback from the property line, and that grade varies from 2 foot to 2'10", and that's really where the issue is for the side yard aggregate setback. That causes it because the house itself and the structures itself meet the zoning code.
So what is the closest point,
Point
what is
four.
the smallest side yard, the side yard aggregate and the rear yard, taking into account everything, without going individually?
So the rear yard meets the requirement in reference to the 10.3 feet. You have also 12.5 feet for the pool itself, which has the proper setback. And then the pool itself from the north side yard has a 6-foot setback. So the pool in general meets the applicable code of requiring a 4-foot by 4-foot setback. The raised patio is what's causing the setbacks for the side yard, aggregate. The minimal side yard setback on the south side is 10.1 feet, and due to the patio on the north side is 0.4 feet. But the house itself is 8.5 feet on the north side.
Which thing is most encroaching in the side yard? I just want to know
The
the
paver,
closest.
the patio.
Patio.
That's
Okay,
it.
and that's the side, for side yard,
That's the north
closest.
side yard.
Oh,
I can't hear both things.
I'm sorry.
So what is the patio on the side yard then? I just want that, without breaking them all up, we got that information
Sure,
already?
it's 0.4 feet. It's a few inches
Okay,
from the property line. But the fence that's there, which encloses the pool for the life safety part, it's not on top of that paver patio. The fence is from grade, the original grade up.
and the 10.3 to the patio, that's the smallest rear yard on the
That's
property?
the rear yard.
The smallest one, nothing's closer than that?
That's correct. Nothing's closer than that, other than the pool equipment, which I explained
Yep.
in the beginning of my testimony.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Pavone, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Thank you very
All in
much and have a
favor?
good day.
Yeah.
Next, we have case 460 of 25 West Hempstead, Sandra Van Hissem and Jack Biamonte, variance lot area occupied, construct one-story addition attached to dwelling, also known as 462 Madison Avenue.
Lot area occupied.
With the microphone.
Before you begin, there's more seats up front here and in the back, so.
Oh,
You want to proceed with
What?
after attorney, or you want to wait?
yeah, you know what, we'll call another case.
Sit right over
okay?
here, though, in
Sit up front, sit up front,
And give us a little signal when your attorney's back, so we can call you back up.
okay?
Now calling case 461 of 25 West Hempstead, Linda Williams, variances, rear yards, front yard setback on a lane court, maintained carport and second-story wood deck, both attached to dwelling. also known as 1078 Christopher Court.
Thank you. That's the new one.
Joe, Joe, you're going to ask the question?
Lisa Crescia with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396,
It's
Syosset,
right
New
here.
York,
Sorry.
11791. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Kachia, can you
Yes.
anticipate my question?
Yes,
Have you been to the house?
yes, I have.
Inside and out?
Only outside, only what was relevant to the case today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here representing Mrs. Williams, who wishes to maintain a carport and wood deck. This property is located in a Residence B zone. It is located on an odd lot with 3 front yards and a rear yard of only 12.9 feet. The deck has a rear yard setback of 1.49 feet, where 25 feet is required. The carport has a rear yard setback of 12.9 feet, where 25 feet is required, and a front yard setback on Elaine
Yeah,
Court
screwed
of
up.
14.6
I'm
feet, where 25 feet is
forgot it.
required. These structures have existed for over 20 years. Mrs. Williams did not create these issues. She inherited the property, which has since sold, and there is money in escrow.
So that's the carport. that
Mrs.
white.
Williams respectfully requests your approval.
It does have a fence.
It's not your case. Any other questions from the board?
Existing.
Ms. Kashia, you also have an open building permit for the solar system?
Yes,
Is that being closed out as well?
yes, it is.
Mr. Chairman, with that in mind, I move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Cuccia, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have a nice day. Are you done for the day?
Yes, I am.
Have a nice day.
Did your attorney come back? Okay.
Okay, we're going to recall case 460 of 25, West Hempstead, Sandra Van Hesium and Jack Biamonte. Variance, lot area occupied, construct one-story addition attached to dwelling, also known as 462 Madison Avenue.
Millette Shanahan, attorney for the applicant, 53 Devon Road, Great Neck, New York, 11023.
Please,
Sandra Van Eysen, 462 Madison Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Jack Bayamonte, 462 Madison Avenue, West Hampton, New York, 11552.
She's the one who needs to be able to take it down, too.
Yeah.
I see you looking over there, but
Okay, so the applicant is here for a variance for a first-floor rear extension, extending 15 feet from the back of the house to accommodate the applicant's father, who happens to be a vet in a wheelchair.
and how long has it been there?
How long has it been there?
that's a construction.
It's not, it's in construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in construction.
What is the total lot area occupied?
What is the total
The
what?
lot area occupied, you're here for
Of
that.
that part?
Yes.
Uh,
No, the
what is it?
total lot area occupied, that's why you're here. No. What percent, all right, we'll
So-
look.
All right.
We'll look.
So-
15 by 25.
No,
No,
no.
no.
Judging by your, the lot area occupied is the amount of the lot, percentage-wise, that
That
you
is-
propose to occupy once the project's done. Your plot plan indicates that, and 27.5% is allowable in a Residence
Res
B
B.
zone, which is the zone you're in.
Right.
So it looks here as if your request is to occupy 33.6% of the lot with this proposal. So
Right.
that's a variance of about, what, 6%?
Right, so let me explain what happened. There was a misunderstanding that the house is in Zone C, and we know that with Zone C, you can go out 16 feet. And so therefore, the plans were built for 16 feet. The architect drafted the plans for 16 feet, and they started digging for 16 feet. So right now, there's a big hole in the applicant's backyard, and we're asking for 16 feet, which was originally what they wanted. Later on, it came to be known that they're in Zone B, not Zone C, so they've got a big hole in their backyard.
You're here for lot area occupied, and that is the only thing you're here for.
Do you think you need any other, so 16
There is-
feet would have nothing to do with the lot area
It doesn't have
occupied.
anything to do with the lot
So-
area occupied.
Yeah, we're asking for 33.6%.
You're asking for
Hold on.
33.6 and a 27.5% zone, correct? And that's it. All right.
Do you think you need some other variance? Were you rejected for something else?
No. Were
Okay.
you rejected? I think we put in a supplemental permit request for 33.6%.
Right, but when you talk
Hold
about
on,
16 feet,
Hold on
we're
a
not.
sec. Ms. First is our senior
Our expert.
plans examiner. She's the expert.
The examiner granted a building permit originally, and a permit was issued in a Residence B zone for a project that was only 24 by 34 by 8. They requested a supplement to extend the rear addition in the same residential B zone for it to be 25 by 18. So they're requesting an expansion into the lot area occupied.
And that's the
However-
33.6, but there's
Correct.
no
Right.
other
There's
encroachment.
no other variances.
That's it.
And-
That's
and
the
you-
only thing we're here for.
Okay. And you are aware that there is another open building permit to maintain a garage converted to living space? That's going to be closed out as well if this application is approved, correct?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, but I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Is there any other questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you who have signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Thank you so much.
Some of the approvals will take place this afternoon. So if you'd like to, you might be able to call the board office tomorrow morning to find out what decision, if any, was made on your case.
Given
Okay.
that you're
Okay.
time sensitive.
Thank
All
you.
right. Have a nice afternoon. All in favor? Any opposed? What? Right. We beg your indulgence, but as you can see, most of the people are here on case 1316 of 2025, and as a result of that, we're going to call that case out of turn, and that'll be the next case we're calling.
Next, we have case 131625, near Island Park, Stephen Siller, Tunnel to Towers Foundation Incorporated. Variances, height, population density, construct two-story apartment complex with parking below, demolish existing building, also known as 3915 Austin Boulevard.
Oh, there we go.
Chairman, I will recuse myself.
For the record, Mrs. Adams is going to recuse herself on this case.
1416.
This is Jennifer Porter. I'm an attorney with CSG Law with offices at 11 Times Square, New York, New York.
Gavin Naples, Senior Vice President. Gavin Naples, Senior Vice President of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, 2361 Highland Boulevard, Staten Island, New York. Good afternoon.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, board members. Again, Jennifer Porter with CSG Law. I'm here on behalf of the Stephen Siller Foundation in connection with its application for area variance relief in connection with the proposed veterans apartment housing complex that's being proposed for approval. The property is located at 3915 Austin Boulevard. It's located within the Business X zone, which permits philanthropic uses such as the one proposed as of right. The applicant is seeking 2 area variances, one with respect to building height to allow 35 feet where 30 feet is permitted. The other is with respect to population density to allow for 57 dwelling units where 27 are permitted. The applicant intends to call 2 witnesses in support of its application. We have Mr. Naples with us, Gavin Naples, on behalf of Tunnel to Towers, who can give some brief background regarding Tunnel to Towers and specifically with respect to the operations as it relates to the relief that's being sought from the board today. And then we also have our architects from Giordana Architecture who can walk the board through the proposed drawings with a specific attention to the height and dwelling units as it relates to the board's consideration. And if the board has no questions for me, I'm happy to call Mr. Naples to give a brief overview.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you very much for hearing this case. For those, we've provided the board with a presentation that I'll be going through as it relates to this program and obviously this project in particular. For those that are a little unfamiliar with our foundation, it started in the wake of the 9/11 terrorist attacks on New York City. Firefighter Stephen Siller was a Brooklyn firefighter who was off duty going to play golf with his brothers the morning of September 11th. Just as finished his shift, he heard that the South Tower had been hit by the plane in the Trade Center. So he drove his car, his civilian car, to the base of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which connects Brooklyn and Lower Manhattan. It was closed to vehicular traffic for safety concerns, obviously, that morning. So he got out of his car, and he put 60 pounds of gear on his back, and he ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel into the tower, and his body was never recovered. He died that day, saving others. He was an orphan himself. He left behind 5 small children, as did so many Americans that day. From that sacrifice, his brothers and sisters got around a kitchen table and said that they needed to honor what he did for our country, and so they began the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And over the last 25 years, we have provided over 2,000 mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members throughout the United States, the families of fallen first responders throughout the United States, police officers, firefighters, and EMT workers that get killed in the line of duty, as well as Gold Star widows that leave behind small children. Our newest endeavor seeks to provide affordable housing for formerly homeless veterans. So over 35,000 veterans plus currently struggling with homelessness in some form throughout the nation. And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has committed to helping every one of these individuals. To address such a national problem, we've created a multi-pronged approach to be able to help any and every veteran as well as their family throughout the nation. The first, which is the crux of our discussion today, are our veterans' villages. These are long-term supportive housing complexes that we are creating in large metro areas throughout the United States where high rates of homelessness exist. So we will either purchase a hospitality property, gut renovate it, and transform them into single-room occupancy, permanent supportive housing. Every veteran has their own bathroom. Every veteran has their own kitchen. There's no communal living. This is not a shelter. This is not a transitional site. These veterans can live there for as long as they want with the access to the supportive services that occur right on site 24/7, which I'll go into. But we have about 20 projects right now, which I'll go through in various stages of development and pre-development. We'll build over 100 veterans villages throughout the United States in the next 10 years. And I'll go into the specifics of our veterans villages in a bit, but I just want to give you the scope of what we're doing to address this problem. Outside of these large metro areas, we still have 80% of America. So the second prong of our program is our National Case Management Network. And that is anywhere in the nation where a veteran or their family is struggling with homelessness or about to backslide into homelessness, they call our foundation and we're able to provide them financial assistance in their area at the drop of a hat to shelter them, provide them housing, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedroom apartments, housing, pay that financial burden to.
I'm sorry, did you say that this would be a place where vets would live long-term, or did you say it's short-term?
This is not transitional housing. This is long-term supportive housing.
Mhm.
Sorry, my mic is that mic is-
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get it working.
That's fine, thank you. 2 mics, perfect. Yeah, long-term supportive housing here at the site. But our National Case Management Network assists veterans and families throughout the nation every single day. And the third prong of our program is our HUD-VER services program, where we work directly with the Department of Housing and Urban Development to provide financial assistance to veterans and their families. We currently operate in all 50 states and U.S. territories. Since the beginning of our program, just about 3 years ago, we provided housing assistance to over 15,000 veterans and 8,000 children. These numbers are going to grow exponentially as we build more and more of our veterans villages and strengthen our National Case Management Network. The petition in front of you today pertains to the property at 3915 Austin Boulevard, the former dilapidated Motor Inn Motel, which we are intending to demolish and build back a 57-unit permanent housing complex. In your packets, you'll see some images of our residences. As I said, every veteran has their own bathroom, every veteran has their own kitchen. There's no communal living, and it's for men and women veterans. We have a litany of supportive service spaces that occur on the first floor as well throughout the building for gyms, game rooms, multi-purpose rooms, clothing rooms, workforce development, libraries, lounges, dining areas, so that veterans can interact with staff and other veterans and not have that severe isolation that's such a prevalent problem when you're addressing this issue. I've listed just some of the supportive services that we will provide through the Tunnel to Towers Foundation on this site 24/7. First floor is staffed 24/7 to provide comprehensive supportive services, outreach, case management, employment assistance, entitlements assistance, job training, benefits assistance, education, legal advocacy, behavioral health assistance, peer support, and a litany of other services that the foundation will provide at no cost to the veteran, as well as partnering with other organizations in the same space at this site. Obviously, the screening and safety of this property and the surrounding community and all of our veterans' villages is of paramount importance to the foundation. So we have a rigorous intake, screening, and safety protocol that we frankly spend millions of dollars on at each village to make sure that each village is as safe as it possibly can be. Any veterans that are dishonorably discharged, have any record of sexual-based offenses or major violent crimes are precluded from our site. Our National Case Management Network is able to assist these veterans with referrals to organizations and locations that are better suited to helping those individuals. But all of our properties, all of our veterans' villages have 24/7 CCTV capturing the entire site, perimeter fencing, we have blue light safety zones, license plate scanners, and obviously 24/7 security on site, as well as peer support and the rest of our supportive services. As for where the site sits, obviously prominent right on Austin Boulevard, but included in the Veterans Village is free transportation for all of our veterans. We provide privately funded daily transportation to and from the nearest VA hospital, from grocery stores, banks, shopping malls, anywhere where a veteran needs to go. We don't want a veteran's physical limitations or inability to drive to be a barrier for them to feel part of the community. As to funding, we're not here asking for any money from anyone. This project is fully funded. The demolition, the renovation, and new construction, and the maintenance is funded in perpetuity through the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. So it's going to be approximately $15 to $20 million that we will be putting into Nassau County to construct this village. As to the galvanization of the surrounding community, that has really been the best part of this entire program for us. The response from the surrounding community, as is ever today, is just really astounding. People really do want to get involved. They do want to help our nation's heroes. A lot of the times they're just not sure as to how. And so each of our veterans' villages really set up as a conduit for other organizations, small, medium, and large, to get involved. whether it's pet therapy, art therapy, music therapy, cooking classes, dance classes, fishing trips, ATV rides, legal advocacy, or just come in to play, checkers. The surrounding community where we have villages operating has just been overwhelming and really brings the veterans at our Veterans Village back into the community, which is absolutely going to be evident here. Just to give you some background as to, obviously, our scope in New York, being a New York-based organization, since we began, we've provided over 91 mortgage-free homes to the families of our catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responders, and Gold Star families. And included in your packet, you'll just see some of our other veterans villages that are currently in the works or operating. In Houston, Texas, we have a 131-unit permanent supportive housing complex. In Buffalo, New York, very similar to what we're proposing here. We purchased a former dilapidated nursing home on 2 acres. We demolished that, and we're building back a 94-unit permanent housing complex that's 4 minutes away from the Buffalo Veterans Affairs Hospital. Atlanta, Georgia, we're opening on Tuesday an 88-unit permanent housing complex in Atlanta for men and women veterans. Memphis, Tennessee, Tampa, Florida, Riverside, California, 175 units of permanent housing complex with our partners, U.S. Vets. Bayville, New Jersey, Denver, Colorado, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right on the Susquehanna River, Las Vegas, Nevada, directly across the street from the VA hospital, Detroit, Michigan, West Los Angeles, which is the epicenter of veteran homelessness. We're substantial contributors to that rebuild, which will provide over 3,000 units of housing for veterans by the end of the decade. And as I said, we have many, many more villages coming from Buffalo down to Florida. We have 2 in Puerto Rico currently, west of California, in large metro areas where you really have this need. And to the extent that there are veterans that are struggling outside of what we're able to provide with our veterans villages, our national case management is our blanket that we have cast to be able to help veterans and their families, no matter their location, any time of the day. We get hundreds and hundreds of referrals every single week from veterans all over the nation, and we're able to provide that housing immediately. So I welcome any questions. I thank you very much for your time, and we're looking forward to an incredible project that will truly be a shining beacon here in Nassau County. So thank you very much.
Some comments that was submitted, we're going to summarize them and go through them very quickly. We're all very familiar with the wonderful work you do.
Yeah, so we also accept comments by email. I don't know if you had a chance to see this, but what the writer asks, I'll just read a quick sentence and then I've gone through and summarized. Please read my questions and comments into the record. I look forward to streaming the meeting and hearing the answers to my questions. And then the person notes that it's a great use of the zombie property, and it's going to be taller and denser than the existing area buildings near the, I guess that's a question. Is it going to be taller and denser? That's something that can be addressed by the materials. So there's a number of small paragraphs here, but I'd like to go through them so that you can answer them, and I think it will be for everyone's edification in the end. So this says, I'm generally supportive of the project and would like to support some of the variances sought to make it happen, but I have questions. So first there's, will the traffic light with a turn signal be installed to facilitate entrance to the facility by cars, delivery trucks, etc., to ease the traffic and make it safer for all involved?
Sure. And I do have the list of questions here, and they're great questions, so I'd like to address all of them. We're obviously amenable to anything that the town of Hempstead would like to collaborate on in terms of what's on, obviously, their property, but we believe that the vehicular traffic that we have created in and out of the site is optimized. There's basically 4 modes of egress, and we do have our civil engineer here that can speak better to that, but we are amenable to working on anything that would, increase the flow of vehicular traffic for traffic light and also for the crosswalk comment.
I think that might be a county road. Has any application or correspondence, has anyone addressed this with the county yet, or?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. So likewise, will a crosswalk be installed? I'm pretty sure the vets will need to cross Austin at the nearest corner. near the library or elsewhere to get to the area stores and the bus stop. Crossing is a dangerous problem on Austin Boulevard, as recent deaths show. Do you have intentions, have you pursued, whatever, about getting a crosswalk installed for the safety of the residents, or?
Sure. Again, similarly to the last question, we're amenable to whatever the town of Hempstead believes is the best, Nassau County believes is the best, from a safety perspective. But we do, as I said, have privately funded transportation to alleviate some of that burden, to make sure that people aren't, utilizing sort of foot traffic, as opposed to our ability to take them safely, right? We did take a look in light of these questions just as to the nearest crosswalks. I believe it's about a block and a half south. So to the extent that there are safer means and methods that would be utilized by the county or the town, we're open to that, obviously.
So the next question is, does the facility have adequate off-street parking for all residents and staff and guest parking? And I'll start by saying you're not here for a parking
You're not here.
variance.
Yep.
And you also seem to have, putting in a parking area below. So I guess answer this, assuming this is granted and whatever parking you've provided for in your plan is granted, I believe there will be adequate parking for all of this, but if you wish to comment, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes, so I believe 49 is what's required, and we're showing 52 parking spaces with 57 units of single-room occupancy. Based on our calculations and our research and just operating all these villages, about 50 to 60% of our veterans and our residents have vehicles, so we believe we have ample parking that will be satiated on-site with no need for off-site parking, basically.
And again, in addition to you believing that, you do meet all the requirements of the ordinances. Will the facility offer any of its support services, parenthetically, as the building plan indicates, there is a warming kitchen, counselors, etc. So, support services to vets that are non-T2T building residents, and if so, it's a little misworded here. If so, I think it's supposed to say, what's the projected total use capacity, and is there enough off-street parking for that? I think, as I read it, the question is, in addition to people who live there, are there going to be services that some might come from elsewhere, and do you have adequate parking for that purpose?
Sure. So the amenities and all the supportive services that occur on site are for the benefits of the residents that will live there, but the National Case Management Network, as I said, assists veterans that are not living there as well as families. They wouldn't necessarily come to the site to avail themselves of that help. It would be coordinated there. So, yes, so it wouldn't be an added density issue.
Yeah.
So from time to time, there may be others who are there, but generally, no?
No, generally no.
Never, okay.
You have other outposts that will attend to those needs.
That's correct.
Not this one.
Are all of the residents Nassau County residents, or are the facilities drawing from the larger New York State area or wider? And what are the qualifications for getting on, I guess, the wait list, and who administers the priorities of the wait list? I know it's kind of compound, but just generally.
No worries, because we do get this question often all over the nation. We prioritize the need in which we are building, so the priority will obviously be Nassau County residents. That's why we're building here. If there's a veteran that comes from out of town and makes his or her home Nassau County, obviously we'll avail ourselves of that, but the priority is to take care of our veterans right here. As to the qualifications, we went through that in terms of dishonorable discharge, sexual-based offenses, violent crimes as well. Yes, but all of our veterans do pay rent as well. They have skin in the game. This is not a free ride, but obviously all utilities are baked in to that program fee monthly. All of our supportive services are baked into that fee, and it's always lower than the affordable housing limit of that jurisdiction. So it's a very fair deal.
And just so I understand, so Tunnel to Towers maintains full control over the placement of residents and the qualifications, et cetera. You're not subject to any forced
Yes.
of anyone you don't.
That's correct, and that's an excellent point. We are not federally funded. We are not state funded, local funded. So we have a tremendous amount of discretion in our ability to operate freely and be very nimble, and we are not confined by an organization or an administration saying, you have to take these individuals. That's not how we operate.
So the next question is the housing limited to single vets, or are couples allowed overnight guests? And she says that the question is related to the capacity and the density, and I assume the same for family members, so can you just?
Sure. So all of the veterans villages are single-room occupancy, so they're men and women veterans, but there are no couples, no children allowed at the site.
No couples either, you said?
Correct. They can obviously, there is an overnight guest policy, and it's long-term supportive housing. People can obviously have guests, but they won't be deemed as program participants or tenants for this village. And as it relates to the capacity and the density, the former Motor Inn Motel was a 67-unit complex, and this will be 57 units of single-room occupancy. Obviously, a hotel, you could have 2 or 3 or 4 people staying in one room at one time. These will all be single-room occupancy.
Okay. Getting there. Is the facility staffed 24/7, or is it only the regular hours?
That's been answered. That's been answered.
And are the only disabilities required to qualify those from combat and service related? And then there's a comment that the physical disabilities further do sort of necessitate a crosswalk for the safety of the people.
Understood. Yeah, so all of our units are actually convertible into ADA, and obviously we meet the requirements of ADA. But we are the premier providers of smart home technology for catastrophically injured veterans. So if we do have veterans that are disabled, we tailor the unit to their specific needs, whether it's TBI, blindness, double amputation, triple amputation, quadruple amputation. We control everything with smart technology and iPad. So it is very, very advanced in terms of allowing veterans to regain their independence. And to the former question, yes, it is staffed 24/7.
And then I think you've kind of answered this, but just so I can be true to this individual's request, there's a note here that they noticed there were warming kitchens in certain areas. So the question is, do the apartments have their own kitchens? And what's the difference between warming kitchen and regular kitchen? I think that's obvious.
Sure.
And that question includes, is there other medical staff that will be on the premises? And do they have things like ambulances, et cetera, to further help?
Sure. So every veteran has their own kitchen. The warming kitchen is something that we provide on the first floor for if we're going to do a big Thanksgiving turkey and you're not going to fit it into an oven or Christmas, something like that. So all the veterans can avail themselves of a warming kitchen, but each individualized unit does have a warming kitchen. And then as to the second question on medical staff and ambulance services, we do have licensed clinicians on site that will be there, and we work very well, obviously, with the surrounding first responding agencies and second responding agencies to make sure that if a call is unfortunately need to be made, it's the warmest call that could possibly occur, so that when that responding agency arrives on site, that they have the most information possible.
Just a couple more. Why do you propose keeping the driveway/exit on Nevada Avenue? I think you've sort of described that, but if you want to comment on that further.
Sure. Again, just for ease of vehicular traffic flow, but I could have our architect speak to that if more information is needed on that.
Great. And there's a request about the lighting plan, landscaping plan. I assume that's in the file. That can be accessed by anyone who'd like to look at it. And is that something that's going to be spoken about more?
We will have a comprehensive lighting plan and landscape plan. My standard is that it has to look like the Garden of Eden, so it's going to be real sharp, but I'll let our architect speak more to that.
None of us know what that looked like. No one sitting here today knows what
And then there's just one last remark, and I'm just going to read it in full. I also request Tunnel to Tower schedule a separate presentation to the local community, double said, to introduce the plan. We'd love to meet you, have our questions addressed, and offer our full support.
Absolutely, and we thank this resident for very thorough comments and questions, and if we are approved, we plan on having a groundbreaking ceremony, which we will invite the public to, and we obviously can answer all and any questions, as well as if anyone has any direct questions that they can always.
I have a question. You mentioned the fact that you have physicians on staff. Do you have any psychological counseling
Sure.
people on staff as
So-
well?
Yes, so there's a behavioral health specialist who's a licensed clinician that will be on staff, as well as case managers that will be assigned to each of our veterans, program directors, entitlement specialists to help veterans increase their VA benefits, as well as any governmental benefits that are afforded to them, as well as employment specialists that will help, increase income and get employment.
Right. We have several people who we believe would like to speak. Are they both here? Among others, I'm sure. Go right ahead.
Hi. From the time of approval of your project, how long do you think it's going to take to build and get people actually into these apartments?
Sure. By virtue of the fact that the project is fully funded from the day the green light is given, we'll have to demolish the property, and then our current construction schedule for new development bills are between 12 and 15 months.
And do you have a set of contractors that you use local or from?
Yes, architectural, engineering, general contractors, as well as manufacturers that will put this all together for us.
So for instance, if it was approved today or next week, 18 months, then you should be finished, basically.
Correct, sir.
Thank you, and welcome to the town.
Thank you very much.
We have several people who indicated they would like to speak. Those of you who would like to speak, if you would like you to be sworn in, mass swearing in. Is your presentation concluded?
Actually, Mr. Chairman, if it's at all possible, prior to going to the public, if we could just have a very brief overview from our architect, just of the plans,
Absolutely.
because I wanted to get on the record a
Fine.
little bit of testimony regarding why the building height is specifically what it is, and what's leading to the 57 units. You heard a lot from Mr. Naples about that and what's driving it, the
Okay.
specific needs in the community. But I think having that additional architectural overlay will give a full picture, and then we can go to the public and answer any questions.
Fine. Go right ahead, sir. He was sworn in?
Can I just ask if everyone here has signed in? It seems like there's more people here than I have signed in. So if you haven't signed in, let me get something over here and bring it back.
They don't have to sign if they're going to speak. They're not all going to speak.
Hello, Board. Thank you, everyone, for having us. Thank you for this opportunity.
Could you speak up?
Can you hear me now?
Several of the board members have difficulty hearing, so if you could speak up, I'd appreciate it, most notably.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for having us. My name is Marco Giardina. I'm the architect representing Tunnels to Towers for this project. And I just wanted to briefly talk about some of the project, how we came to this area. Can I get this one? Thank you. I believe everyone is familiar with the site. The hotel, it's not in the best shape.
That's an understatement.
Okay. I just wanted to remind everyone. But also, as Mr. Naples mentioned before, was 69 units, and we're asking for 57, and it's basically a decrease. As far as, thank you. See that one? So, as you can see on this image, basically, it's a mixed-scale neighborhood, so we feel this project fits nicely within the context of the area. And basically, the new version is going to be built to today's standards and regulations. So one of the reasons why we're asking for the variance in height is due to the floodplain. So in order to get the building up to current code and standard compliance, we need to maintain a higher elevation. And therefore, that's why we raised the building to meet the flood requirements. But at the same time, that's causing us to go for the height. And we located all the parking underneath the building as far as screening so the neighbors don't see anything. In addition, the impervious soil is kept open and the yards for recreation. Part of the variance that we're asking for, you'll see here on the height, Basically, we come over because of the parapet. And the reason for the parapet, in addition to aesthetics, it acts as screening for the mechanical equipment that'll be located behind it, and it's in line with the elevator and stair bulkheads. So that's part of the reason which makes us go over, therefore requesting the variance. Another point,
How high is the building? How high is the structure?
so the zoning limit is 30 feet.
Right.
We're proposing 38, foot 8. But part of that reason is, because of the raising the building to the flood zone. If we didn't have to do that, we would only be at 35, so we would only be 5 feet over. So that's the reason for that.
So, hold on,
But-
one thing, my elevations show that, as you said, the DFE is, I guess, you have the BFE at 8, so the DFE would be 10. But mine shows the maximum height at 41, and the roof height, so that's the parapet you referred to, and the roof at 39. So it's slightly different numbers, but it's kind of what we have the right numbers on, so we deliberate on the right numbers.
Yes, so it's 35 feet to the top of, the building itself, from the ground, is 35 feet. To the top of the parapet is 38 foot 8.
Okay, so wait.
So it's only the parapet really that's penetrating, and if you can see, it's less than a third of the building.
So you're saying it's 35 from grade, because I am looking at the numbers as to elevations instead of grade.
It's, well, yes, but the grade is based on the floodplain, on the average height.
Well, the grade is the ground, right there, right?
Correct, but the floodplain sets, the grade.
I understand. No,
Okay,
it
yeah, and
doesn't.
it's at 4 feet above
So the
concrete.
floodplain, so in the flood zone, right?
Yes.
You have the BFE, the DFE, so that's two higher than BFE, and then you have the number 30, right?
Correct.
So on here, the elevations show in that analysis that the ridge of the parapet is 41 even, and that the roof itself is 39. Now, if you talk about, but I thought you were saying from the ground, in other words, the grade.
I
you're
apologize. Yeah, you're correct. With 39 feet to the top of the roof, including the
39 if you go by elevations.
Yes, elevation.
And so the 35 you gave us, is that from grade?
That was if we didn't have to, that was from the lower level, where the elevation for the flood starts.
Oh, 35 from DFE.
From DFE, I apologize, yep.
I got you. No, you didn't. I'm just not tracking.
But I guess I could. I just want, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I just. So I also wanted to bring up the fact,
Go ahead, sir. I'm corresponding with her, too.
oh, okay, no worries. So the other, part of the, request for the variance, that we do have a hardship, and due that we have to maintain current code and lift the building, our foundation would be substantially more expensive than a traditional foundation. So we need basically to help offset some of the cost, the additional units. In addition to the program could use it. And we feel basically that the building complements the area and works with the mixed-use zone. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let's get into the minutia. That concludes.
Right, so just to briefly close before we open it to the public, just to talk about the 5 factors very briefly. You heard from Mr. Naples in terms of the character of the neighborhood, how, particular emphasis has been placed on the building design, to limit it as much as possible, to be consistent with and complement the character of this existing community, and if anything, be a betterment in light of what you heard to be obviously, and everyone's familiar with the existing former motel use, which is in very poor condition. So that would be completely demolished and replaced by this structure. You heard about the specific need. With respect to substantiality, you heard specifically that the applicants are seeking the minimum relief necessary in order to allow the project to proceed. You heard about the fact that the increase in the cost with respect to the foundation in order to comply with floodplain and other requirements is driving the particular needs of the project, as well as community need to provide this type of housing for these individuals. So again, that negates essentially any substantiality being sought in connection with the density variance that's being proposed. And with respect to height, you heard specifically about how it relates, you know, it's the minimum necessary in order to accommodate the 57 units while in keeping with that character of the existing community. There are no other methods that are feasible for the applicant to pursue. This is the minimum number of units and the size appropriate to be placed in this particular site. And you did hear that it's a reduction in terms of density as related to the former use of this property, which fit within and served the community for decades previously at a greater density and with greater demand for parking requirements and traffic generation and otherwise. There are no physical or environmental conditions within the neighborhood that would prevent or deny or grant the granting of this variance, and so we believe on balance that the variances should be granted here, and that the benefits of this project outweigh any detriment.
Thank you.
Can I ask back to the plan? I apologize, I don't mean to delay things. So I'm looking at,
That's
so
what
there's,
we'll do.
there's a lobby at elevation 11, and then there's a first floor at elevation 16. Is that because you just step up a little bit to get to the next floor up? I have them in front of me.
Sorry, I have this image here I can share with you. So basically, to meet the floodplain requirements, we have to get the main floor, lobby floor, above the height.
Yep.
And
So
but
it's
to
at
come-
11.
Yep, but to come in, but basically to come in off the sidewalk level, you'll have to enter a couple of stairs. And then when you get into the lobby, it is split level, because we trying to work with the height requirement. Yeah, so basically it's a split level lobby, and then it goes back down in order to get to the garden area, get back to the grade.
So the,
And you'll see there's walkways through the space facing the yard that take you to all the residence levels, and, you know, once they're on the levels, they're all at the same plane.
and so the first floor and second floor, I could see what's designated as like office and other common rooms, and there's units on both of those floors for residential units, right?
Correct.
I was only looking into it because I know there was a number of stories requests, so it wasn't clear to me. There's only 2 real levels beside the lower in the lobby.
Yeah, there's 2 levels with the housing, and basically the second level would be the administrative offices and the support staff. There will be residential on that same level on the other side, and then the upper level will have all units around here. So basically, there's supportive services on every level, just to be clear, but they're just small in scale on the second floor. There's just some case offices and management.
So despite it being a number of stories, height and height variance, to look at the building from outside, other than the lobby area, it really looks like there's 2 levels of the building. It doesn't like
Correct.
come in looking like a large, overgrown structure,
yes.
despite there being technically a number of stories variance. That's what I was trying to understand.
Yes, correct. And because the first floor is parking in.
Okay, that concludes your presentation. Okay, we have several people who would like to speak. They've signed in, they requested to speak, so we're going to call them first. Congress?
If everybody who intends on speaking could please stand and raise your right hand. We'll swear everybody in quickly.
All right,
Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
okay.
You can be seated.
Congressman Desposito, is he here? Is he still here?
Chairman, good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Members of the board. With your permission and without exception, I'd like to submit 2 articles for the record. The first dated November 5th, 2013, Long Beach Motor Inn cited for senior housing. And the second dated February 28th, 2020, Nassau moves to sell Island Park property at $2 million loss.
We'll accept those in evidence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First and foremost, I want to thank you for considering this application today. Secondly, I want to thank all of the veterans, not only for serving our country, but for being here today and supporting what I believe is a great project. I also want to thank our partners and our friends in labor who are here also in support of this application. The first article that I submitted to you was dated back to 2013. It has been 4,308 days since we stood at the Long Beach Motor Inn and senior housing was announced. Since then, there's been a dilapidated building in Austin Boulevard in the community of Island Park. I've been born and raised in the community of Island Park. There's less than 9,000 people that reside there. Next year, we'll be celebrating our 100th anniversary. Our beloved fire department is in its 101st year. And proudly, I will say that we're probably the only community in the country with 9,000 people that sent 2 of its residents to serve, one in the United States Senate and one in the House of Representatives. But in those 4,308 days since that announcement, we've dealt with crime, we've dealt with graffiti, we've dealt with garbage, and it's diminished the quality of life for Island Park neighbors. And less than a year ago, when I was sitting in my office meeting with members of the Tunnels for Towers team and working with our great county executive, Bruce Blakeman, in order to find a home in Nassau County for this Tunnels for Towers project, the fact that the idea of bringing it right to my hometown became an opportunity was an awesome feeling. And here we are today, this application being submitted. And as you know, Long Island is home to approximately 120,000 veterans. We always promise to never forget their sacrifice and their service. But supporting veterans is not just about showing up at a parade and taking a picture. It's not just about going to your local supermarket and putting $1 in the bucket and taking a poppy. It's about making sure that we provide the resources that they need to be within our community when they return home from fighting the fight, for fighting for democracy, for defending the red, white, and blue in the United States of America, that they have a place to live comfortably and affordably. And Tunnels for Towers is providing that opportunity. I would like to ask all of you to please take this into serious consideration. The community supports it. The veterans support it. This isn't political. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about the right thing for veterans. I do want to thank my colleagues in government. Our county executive, Bruce Blakeman, has been a stalwart in this progress. There has been county executives, and this building has sat dilapidated. He has now worked with our great county legislator, Pat Mullaney, and I've recently spoken, and I know that they're not here because there is precedent that town board members do not speak in front of the zoning board to make sure that there is absolutely no influence perpetuated. I am thankful to say that both our supervisor, John Ferretti, who served as chairman of the Veterans Committee in Nassau County and who voted in support of making sure that this parcel of land went from Nassau County to Tunnels for Towers, supports this project, as well as our councilwoman, Laura Ryder. This is progress. This is a building that has sat dilapidated for a long time. And now we have the opportunity not just to see part of Island Park's renaissance as housing or a place for people to live. It's a place for our bravest to live and to be comfortable. Island Park has banners throughout our community, people who have lived in the Island Park community and served our great nation. One of those banners is my grandfather, Gennaro D'Esposito. He served in combat in World War II. He came home. He never graduated high school, never got a college degree, and when he died at 96 years old, he never owned a new car. But he was by far and away the smartest man that I've ever met. And he would tell his grandchildren regularly, when you go to bed at night, leave this world a little bit better than you found it. I ask the board, take this application into consideration and do your part today in leaving today a little bit better than you found it this morning. With that, I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Patrick Mullaney.
Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak. My name is Patrick Mullaney. I am the Nassau County Legislator for the 4th Legislative District, where this project is located. I'm honored to stand before you today with this group of gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, in support of this project. Before I begin, and I'll be brief, I just want to personally thank all my colleagues in government and everybody from Tunnel to Towers who's been involved in this, specifically our former Congressman Anthony D'Esposito, who was instrumental in spearheading this project from the very beginning. Very few people in life are given the chance to put their money where their mouth is. Tunnel to Towers has proven time and time again that it is willing to do just that. Born from unfortunate tragedy 25 years ago, the Siller Foundation has grown into one of the premier nonprofits in the world, continually stepping up to help families of fallen veterans and first responders. As a Marine veteran, as a career first responder, and now as an elected government official, I could not be more proud to work alongside such a great organization. Together, we have an opportunity to transform what has been a blight on this community of Island Park into something extraordinary, a veterans village that will serve those who have sacrificed so much. I have sworn, and I'll swear again today, that I will work with the county executive, with Nassau County PD, with DPW to conduct traffic studies, regular community input to make sure that when this project is up and running, everybody around it is happy about it. The congressman said it, never forget isn't just a tagline. It's a way of life, and this veteran village is a perfect example on how we live up to that ideal. It is how we show our veterans that their service, their sacrifice, and their struggles will never be ignored or dismissed. And so I ask all of you today on the board, when the story of this project is told years from now, what do you want it to say about you and us? That we looked the other way, or that we rose to the occasion, we stood united, and gave back to the heroes that gave us everything? This is the moment. This is the moment that we have a chance to prove that our gratitude is more than just words, it's action. Let's make this veteran village happen, not just as a project, but as a promise fulfilled that we haven't forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, the Mayor of Island Park, Michael McGinty.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the board.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
On behalf of the Village of Island Park, its residents, the Village Board of Trustees, we have been supportive of the proposed Nassau County land transfer to the former Long Beach Motor Inn to the Tunnels for Towers Foundation. I'm here today to continue our support for the approval of the zoning application proposed by Tunnels to Towers now before the board. The Zoning Board of Appeal can do something significant on behalf of the town of Hempstead, its residents, and most important, its veterans and first responders. Located less than a half a mile from the village's 1,500 households and 5,000 middle-class families and seniors, the property's location is in the gateway to Island Park. Moreover, this property directly affects the village's quality of life, its continued revitalization and renaissance after the greater Island Park area was decimated by the superstorm. In fact, the motel and its property have been sitting empty since the superstorm ravaged our South Shore community. The current vacant building complex located at 3915 Austin Boulevard has been a nuisance property for years. The Nassau County's 4th Precinct being called frequently to the property to respond for drug use and prostitution allegations when Nassau County Social Services placed individuals there. It took a number of years, but Nassau County purchased the property in 2017. It's time to take this most important project forward. The boarded up and graffiti building, not nice to look at. It's still an eyesore, aesthetically displeasing, especially as homeowners travel or drive to and from their residences each day or welcome guests for family events and holidays. Let me be clear here. While the county owns the property and takes some steps at property maintenance, the Island Park Motor Inn, the building is not a welcoming sight to our community. We have an opportunity for greatness here. For greatness, I tell you. Getting the parcel off its book while spurring an immediate multi-million-dollar investment to knock the motel structure down and see a completely new, state-of-the-unit, 42-unit permanent housing solution built for our veterans. That is a tremendous and heartfelt accomplishment. In conclusion, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come here today and support this project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, one of my favorite veterans, Ralph Esposito.
I have nothing written. I talk from my heart. We really need this project badly. Winter time, I go out with the police, pick veterans up in Eisenhower Park, at Home Depot, under the Montauk Bridge, and take them to hotels that we pay for out of my pocket. This is a big need for us. Big need. As you can see, these veterans here today know what we go through. As a Vietnam vet myself, I know how hard it is for these vets. I take care of them every day. And believe me, it means a lot for you people to consider putting this housing in effect. Nassau needs it. We need it as veterans. I thank you all for your consideration. God bless you, and God bless America.
I saw some other hands go up. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? But I think we got the message. Okay, come on up.
Chairman, Council, thank you for having me here today. My name is Jason Lochran, and I am the Regional Administrator for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm a political appointee on behalf of President Trump and Secretary Turner, but I'm not here today on behalf of the President and Secretary Turner. I'm here as a neighbor of this project. I grew up in Oceanside. Thank you. I served in Afghanistan in 2010. I served in the New York City Department of Veteran Services for several years, and now I have a 2-year-old with my wife, where we live in Nassau County, and we met in Oceanside, and I brought her to prom at Oceanside High School. We are proud to be Nassau County residents. But I want to take a moment to congratulate you guys here today for inspiring leadership across the country to bring a project like this to come on board. I want to make clear that I'm not here as a federal administrator. I'm not here as a veteran. I'm just simply here as a neighbor of all of yours and all of the folks that are in here today, joining with you and our neighbors to say that we got to get this done. When I served overseas, the bullets, the IEDs, the suicide bombers, they never asked me what political party I was a part of. Unfortunately, for all the men and women here today who served as well, they also did not have an opportunity to talk about what political party they belonged to. The only thing that they said was that they were Americans. And that's who we are here today, shoulder to shoulder. In the spirit of unity, this is what it means to be here today to advance this project. And so we all know that there are 33,000 homeless veterans in the country. That's something that me, the President, and Secretary Turner are working on, but a small step that you guys can take today to advance this project. And so I would like to say that the good news here is that when veterans are housed, our whole community thrives. Their VA benefits, their disability compensation, their housing benefits, their education benefits, their entrepreneurship benefits, all of those federal dollars come back into Nassau County, come back into Island Park, and we want that, because what better neighbor can you have than any of the folks here today? Can someone answer that question for me? So I just want to congratulate all of you for taking the first step to make this happen with a great organization like Tunnels to Towers and with great leadership like County Executive Bruce Blakeman, the mayor here, the legislators, and the former congressional member Anthony D'Esposito. Please move forward to vote yes so that Hempstead can proudly say that we stood together for our veterans and we kept the promises that we made to those who served. God bless all of you. God bless the City Council. God bless all of our veterans, and God bless America. Thank you.
Chairman, Board, my name is Luke Magliaro. I'm the Chief of Staff of Veterans of Foreign Wars of the state of New York. More importantly, I am the Director of Veteran Services here at the town of Hempstead. And had the board been in my office all last week, you probably would have sat down and heard 60% of those veterans that came in looking and talking about veterans housing. My speech is very short. We need veteran housing for our veterans. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Aileen Garth-Hafner. I live directly across the way from the Long Beach Motor Inn, so you know how much I am involved in this project. Tunnel for Towers is the greatest. I support them. The American Legion that I belong to, that I am president of the auxiliary, supports them. The neighbors support them, and I think it's a great thing that they do. I would be happy to meet with anybody. I'd like to see the situation of the building. You know, I mean, it has to be torn down, yes. It's been vacant for over 14 years now. Sandy hit it, there's mold. God knows what else is in there. People are living in there, animals are living in there, and it really needs to be torn down. But I'd like to know how this is going to happen, how it's going to affect me, who lives right across the way. You know what it's like to see this disaster every single morning and night? It's very depressing, I'm telling you. When the motel was, you know, working and everything, it was great. The neighbors were very secretive, you know? And, but now, it's just a disaster. So I congratulate the town of Hempstead for letting town of 2T2, and I support you wholeheartedly.
Thank
you.
And thank you all my veterans for showing up.
One more person, I believe. Go ahead, sir.
I'll make this brief.
That's good.
My name is Bob Clement. I live in Long Beach. I look up and I see each and every one of you sitting there. And it is now 3:30. In about an hour and a half, you're all going to go home, to a home that you have pride in. All I can say is let's give our veterans that opportunity to have that same pride in a place that they can live in.
Anyone else? All right. So before we do anything further, I'd like to thank you all for coming.
Chairman, would you like me to make a motion? Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion. I would like to move that case 1316 of 2025, the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation affecting the property at 3915 on Austin Boulevard and Island Park be approved from the bench.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just so all you folks know, our chairman is also a veteran. So I think he feels very strongly about supporting the veterans. Okay, for those of you who are here on other cases, we're going to take a 5-minute break and let the area get cleared, and we'll resume right thereafter.
Next, we have case 46225, Woodmere, 139 Irving LLC. Variances, height exceeds number of stories, average front yard setback, variance in off-street parking, insufficient backup space, and permission to park in front yard setback, construct three-story office building, demolish existing dwelling. Also known, West Side Irving Place, 405 feet north of Central Avenue. Please take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. There we go. No, it's on. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. William Benesso for Celli Deegan Tirana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. Here on behalf of the applicant, 139 Irving LLC. Behind me to my left is Mr. Avi Feldman, a principal of the LLC that is the owner of the property and is proposing the project. Seated to my right is Mr. Wayne Muller of R&M Engineering, a transportation engineer who has been qualified by this board on many, many occasions and authorized to give expert opinion testimony on parking and traffic. The application before the board today involves the property known as 139 Irving Place in Woodmere. It is situated on the west side of Irving Place in the hamlet of Woodmere. It is a 206-foot deep by 60-foot wide parcel of property that is presently improved with an old dwelling. That dwelling, prior to being purchased by my client, was being used by, let's say, a lot of residents in a lot of different units. They have since been using it as a one-family residence. It's rented out as such. But their proposal is to redevelop the property to build a new three-story office building with a basement. And in order to do so, they require relief from this board. I did confirm with building department. Becky told me this afternoon that the front yard setback variance that's indicated in the notice is actually not required. We meet the required front yard setback, so that is not relief we are requesting.
So we'll amend the caption then, Mr. Benesso?
Please.
Okay.
But we do require a variance for the height and the number of stories. We are proposing 3 stories, whereas 2 is permitted. We're proposing 33 feet of height, where 30 feet is permitted. The existing building is 31 and change, so we're only going to be a few feet taller than that.
Vanessa, I take it must be in a business district already?
It is in the business district, so we're not asking for any kind of rezoning or anything like that. But the property backs up to residential properties, but we actually have support from the neighbor directly behind us, and I'll read that letter to you shortly. But we do, pardon? Yes, the rear portion. So part of the relief that we need is for parking in the residential district, but only the parking is in that area, and we do propose a planter strip which will be landscaped, and that's something that we talked about with the neighbors behind us. But in addition to the height and number of stories, we're seeking parking relief in the form of the number of parking spaces required. We are providing 24 spaces, and 20 are deemed acceptable because 4 of them are situated within the front yard setback. But we're providing 24 spaces, and the site requires 38. You'll hear from Mr. Muller regarding the availability of, or rather the adequacy of the parking that's being provided, as well as the availability of parking in the area. On the issue of the height and the number of stories, I'd like to hand up to the board just some Google Map exhibits that I prepared.
Mr. Vanessa.
Pardon?
Where'd you get the maps?
I prepared them myself, and you'll
Well, are
see.
they from website, it looks like.
Pardon?
Did you get the basic map from a website like Google Earth or
I
something?
took it off of Google Maps.
Okay, and then
Google
thereafter you marked it up or something?
Yes, yeah.
And otherwise fairly
Yeah,
inaccurate?
yes, absolutely. I'll describe, what
We'll
you
accept
have
those
when the
endeavors.
packets are handed up to you. He's a principal of the applicant.
Right, but he signed in opposition, so I only asked because can we get him,
Now, somebody else had signed in.
Aviv?
No, he's Avi, but somebody named Aviva had signed up in opposition.
I'm gonna butcher this last name, Agbashav? Okay, so I only worried because I want to provide the copy, but.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you know that person? Okay, if she returns,
They
would you?
spoke. We'll get into that
Signal
as,
us if she returns so we can.
yeah. I'll get into it as we go forward.
Thank you.
So what I've handed up to the board is a relatively simple handout. The first page is an aerial photograph, again, taken from Google Maps, directly from Google Maps, showing Irving Place. The red pin is on our property, and then I've numbered 5 other buildings right on the same block that I then include photos of as we go forward. The first photo after the first page is the existing building on the property. Number 1, the one marked number 1 is on the corner of Cedar Lane and Irving Place. It is a building clearly over 30 feet tall. It's 2 stories. It is a medical office building. Building number 2 is 130 Irving Place. That's again on the other side of Irving Place. It's a luxury senior living facility, 3 stories. The next page has numbers 3 and 4. Number 3 is 1050 Central Avenue that extends all the way to Irving Place. It is a 5-story building, well over the height limitation of 30 feet. That's yes, it's a assisted living facility. And then on the corner of Central and Irving Place is 1012 Central Avenue, which is a 3-story office building. So, the size of what lot? Oh, yeah, I don't know the size of the lot, but it's, yeah, I'd say it's approximately the same size. It is similar in size. I didn't get a great deal of detail. What I was really wanting to depict for the board was the pattern of development, the character of the neighborhood. We clearly have a street here that 3 stories and 30-foot height is, our being 33 feet and 3 stories is not going to be out of character. In fact, it'll very much be in keeping with the pattern of development along Irving Place. So I think that addresses the variance with regard to the height and the number of stories. As for the parking, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Muller, but this is a general office building. It's not intended for medical office use. It's going to be lawyers, accountants, that kind of thing. They are not using it for medical office, which would have a different layout, different floor plan than what they've submitted. So it is, as you'll hear from Mr. Muller, that's a good thing from the perspective of parking demand. And unless the board has any questions about the site development, I'll let it go. I'll let Mr. Muller
Real
testify.
quick, Mr. Benesso.
Yeah.
So you don't need lottery occupied. The lot looks somewhat small. It's partially C-zone, and I don't know, is that in it, do they only do FAR in it, or do they do lottery occupied, Becky, in a half C-zone? Okay.
It's a business zone, and you don't have,
C-zone.
the only time FAR or building coverage applies in a business zone is when it's residential.
So just because you don't need that relief doesn't
Isn't
mean
that-
you're, What is it?
But I thought that's only, isn't that only for residential? Oh. Right.
Okay, can you say it again, because there's too many
The
noises?
business zone allows up to 70% lot coverage.
Okay, because it looks like the size of the lot and the proposal does look like it's gonna cover more than 30%. And then I thought I saw a note on the, yeah, here it says coverage.
The proposed coverage is only 1941.
Oh, I
so
see that.
Well
And
within,
it does say 70s permitted.
yes.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Mueller, since the last time you testified before this board, have there been any changes in your qualifications?
No, there have not been.
Okay, so you're qualified to give your expert opinion as to traffic, parking, and the usual.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
For the record, Wayne Muller, R&M Engineering, offices at 50 Elm Street, Huntington, New York. Excuse me. In accordance with board procedures, we prepared a report dated July 15th, 2025, of which additional copies were submitted to the board here this afternoon. I'd just like to briefly describe the contents therein. As indicated on the plans prepared by WZN Design and as adequately described by Mr. Benesso, it is proposed to construct a 3-story office building on the subject property containing 6,552 square feet of office space. As indicated on the plans, we are requiring a total of 38 parking spaces in accordance with the Town of Hempstead Building Zone Ordinance, and 24 parking spaces are being provided on the subject property. Correct. First part of our analysis consisted of an estimate of the quantity of parked vehicles for a general office building of this size, utilizing the statistics presented in the Institute of Transportation Engineers Parking Generation Manual. Again, as I've testified numerous times, that manual compiles statistics for various different land uses, this being a small office building, which satisfies that criteria, at which point we're able to determine the number of parking spots that we would anticipate to be occupied for this building. As indicated on the first page of my report towards the end, our analysis has indicated that we would believe at the peak time 17 vehicles would be parked on the property associated with the small office building. So therefore, so what the way the parking generation manual is broken down is in various different land use codes. So LUC is a land use code. So, for instance, for this use, the land use code pertaining to the statistics for this use is number 712, which is a small office building. One that comes to mind is shopping center. That's land use code 820. And then there's all different, for all the different uses, they're all different land use codes. So therefore, we believe that the parking associated with this facility will be fully contained on site and will not rely on street or municipal parking, which is in a reasonable walking distance from the subject property to satisfy their demand.
And how many of the actual characteristics of this project, I mean, is this just all, is that factor number that you get from the ITE and under LUC 712, is that just simply for small office buildings, or does it have like 3 of the characteristics that hone you into that one being the best multiplier?
It's all of them, actually, yeah. I mean, they break it down. Over time, the ITE has honed all the statistics based on trends and obviously in the way the world functions. And different sized buildings generate different parking ratios.
But when you look up small office building, the LUC 712 is only that, or it's small office building in a suburb that is probably medical use, or is it, it's not?
It's just a general office
And then
building.
you factor the other pieces in.
Yeah, totally excludes medical. Yeah, medical is its own separate category, obviously, because that's a
I just
little bit
wanted
more
to
of an
understand
intensive
that.
use. So therefore, our analysis indicates that the number of spaces provided on the property will be sufficient to satisfy the demand. The second phase of our analysis consisted of a computation of the quantity of peak hour traffic that would be generated by the small office building utilizing the statistics presented in the Institute of Transportation Engineers Trip Generation Manual. And again, that manual contains statistics for various different land use codes, and Land Use Code 712 pertaining to a small office building is one of them. That information is presented on page 2 of my report. As you can see, that we would anticipate that the level of traffic generated by this facility during the various different peak hours during a week when it would be open would be relatively minor. The maximum would be in the afternoon commuter peak hour, where 14 trips would be generated, 5 entering and 9 exiting. So therefore, our analysis has indicated that we believe that there would be sufficient parking provided on the property to satisfy the demand, and the level of traffic that would be generated by this use is also relatively minor. So therefore, it is my professional opinion that the granting of this application by the board will not significantly change parking conditions in and around the subject property, and that it'll have there'll be no undue traffic congestion or hazard as a result of the traffic generated by this building.
But, pardon me, usually in the world of parking variances, I at least personally find it a big factor to know the kind of business, because I feel like it lends a lot to understanding how and when the parking lot's gonna be needed. Like, obviously, certain things are Sundays only, certain things are evenings only, some are both. People stay, like in terms of how long people stay, when they come, and how many of them come, and generally times, I rely a lot on that, correctly or incorrectly, in my consideration. So how do we factor that into our...
Well, I mean, this building is being built on spec. There's no tenant already proposed for it, as far as I know. Am I correct? Are there tenants presently? Right. It's going to be general office. If the board was concerned about it being medical office, they could accept the limitation. Could accept a restriction on medical office. The other aspect of that, and Mr. Muller can speak to it better than I can, is that, as I understand where you're coming from. It's nice to have that information, but the fact of the matter is, when the ITE looks at it, they factor in that this is general office space, and they determine what the typical demands are going to be. Now, in addition to the on-site parking that we're providing, and Mr. Muller can speak to this to some extent, to our north, two buildings to our north is a municipal lot that can accommodate any overflow parking that might be generated. And then to the south of that corner building, it's a little further away, obviously, but there is another municipal lot down there. So it's not like there's no off-street, or rather no off-site parking available. That is basically backup. But we feel, and again, based upon Mr. Muller's expert testimony, we feel that the parking provided on-site will adequately accommodate the needs of the building.
Right, but I mean, even though it does a general, I'm just saying, and you're not in a situation of non-simultaneous use here, but the business itself is a big part of how many people are gonna stay out long.
Well,
So I get the general nature of it, but I feel like it's only a piece of the
Understand where you're coming from.
considerations.
Yeah.
So what the IT does indicate in the manual, that the statistics are based on the different type of uses that make up this composite rate. Examples would be an attorney's office, a mortgage company, financial advisor, insurance agency.
All of it should have the same use period, you're right.
Yes, a real estate company. Those are examples of the tenants that are included, that were studied in this category. Because again, it's a small building. It's not like it's 50,000 square feet and, what's a big insurance? AXS is going to move into it and provide, massive back office stuff or whatever, or Northwell's not going to come here because there would be an exclusion on medical office. So it's going to be like somebody like myself and maybe a few people that would come and take space in the building. Now, the footprint is not very large either, so it's not going to be, cut up into too small, because then it doesn't really work. So it's going to be a conglomeration of those types of tenants.
Can you just give me an example, if you know, of the kinds of things that, without further relief, would not be allowed? So obviously, all the things you've mentioned, lawyers and all that, but, I get it's an office building, but are there any things that come to mind that some people might want to put in an office building that would require additional relief from the town code, like from what's going to be allowed as of right in this building?
If they tried to put any kind of training center, something with meeting space that was more than just accessory, that would be potentially deemed a place of public assembly. That would require a special use permit from this board. It would also get calculated at a different parking standard, because typically what the building department will do with that is they look at the state standard for occupancy. If it's just if it's a room with a bunch of chairs that are fixed, then they'll go by the number of seats. If it's a room that's open, then they'll go by one space per every, or one person per every 50 square feet, and then they apply the standard for public assembly, which is one parking space per every 3 people, which basically breaks out to be one parking space per every 150 square feet versus one parking space per every 200 square feet, which is the office standard. So we would have to come back to the board for a parking variance, because it would be a higher standard, higher demand parking, and we'd have to come back for a special exception. If they wanted to put a restaurant in on the first floor, obviously that gets calculated based on one space per 100 square feet, or one space per every 3 seats, plus the number of employees. But that's unlikely, I would think.
Just so I can miss first, what about, a few little things, like what if someone wanted to put a yoga studio in part of it, or let's say a video game arcade, or, I'm just trying to get a few
Both
broad.
of those, the town building department has classified as places of amusement or public assembly. Yeah.
Can you name a few things that people might intuitively think that they could put in an office building that would require additional relief from the board? Just give me an idea.
It would be training facilities, any type of training facilities, offensive driving classes, testing facilities.
Those would, okay.
That's all.
All right, I think I got the general picture.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
you raise a good point, but I think there are safeguards in place that would, prevent that from occurring. So, one thing I did want to point out, and I just confirmed it with Becky, the whole entire property is zoned business. You mentioned that it was Residence C in the rear, and at first I thought you were right, but it's actually all zoned business district. It's not. There is a line on the radius map that appears to indicate that it is, but
I see there, it cuts out.
it is actually all zoned business
see
sector.
where
So
it
we're
does
not
cut out.
seeking parking in the rear yard set, or parking in the residence district.
Got it.
Rather, we're just looking for the parking in the front yard setback and the parking variance. Secondly, we do have a letter of support I mentioned from the neighbor directly behind the property. My client sent it to me after I left the office, so I'm going to read you pertinent parts of it, and I'll print it and provide it to Mr. Owens for the record. But it is from Joseph Arier, 132 Lafayette Place. It was signed yesterday, and it says in pertinent part, ownership has given us their word that they will take the necessary steps to mitigate our concerns to maintain the residential character of the block. A professional parking analysis concluded that the 24 dedicated on-site parking spaces planned for the project should be sufficient to meet daily demand and prevent overflow parking on our block. In addition, the development team has committed to planting trees along the back of the property to preserve privacy and maintain the neighborhood feel.
Which I see on this plot line.
Yeah. For these reasons, we do not object to the requested variance and are comfortable with the project moving forward. We're optimistic that the project will be an asset to the community and enhance the neighborhood. So lastly, the lady who was here did speak with Mr. Feldman. He can speak to it directly, but to summarize, she indicated her concern. She lives on Lafayette on the other side, on
Hold on, wait, Lafayette where?
she's on the other side. She was, I think, at 119 Lafayette. She indicated that she was concerned that people were going to be using her street to park and the like. You know, Mr. Muller can speak to this, but it's pretty unlikely that people are going to park on Lafayette and walk all the way around the block to get to the office building when they can park in the public parking at the end of the street or the other end of the street on Central. So, you know, whether she was satisfied with that, I don't know, because she left, but we did speak to her about it. And lastly, Nassau County Planning Commission recommended local determination on this matter, so we would ask for the board to consider this favorably and grant the relief requested.
Okay, did the gentleman here who signed in, did you want to speak on this matter at all, or?
I think he did okay.
All right, and, so you're Avi Feldman, right? And the other individual left, so that's it. Okay, is there anything else you wish to add?
Nothing else.
If there are no other questions from the board, may I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Young.
Thank you very much.
Are you on the next case too?
No, what other case? There's another case?
Yeah,
Oh,
another one.
sorry.
You're welcome.
Got it. You needed an assist on that one. Mrs. Beechwood? Yeah, I'm fine. I had to take care of some stuff. I had a
Finally, we have case
emergency in the office, so
131525.
My girl's not there, so.
Near Westbury, Beechwood 737 Merrick LLC. Special exception for proposed six-story hotel exceeding floor area ratio and with height variance, also known as 737 Merrick Avenue.
Let's bench. Oh, God, another one. It beats going to the gym. Sometimes better than others.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Members of the board. I am Paulina Gianpietro with the offices of Richard W. Rosenberg, PC, located at 200 Robbins Lane, Suite D1, Jericho, New York, 11753. Attorney for the applicant, Beechwood 737 Merrick LLC. I have Mr. William Miller and Mr. Gino Tedesco from R&M
You have one?
Engineering here with me today as well. The subject premises is located at 737 Merrick Avenue, Westbury, New York, 11590, and identified on the Nassau County tax map as Section
You saw this,
44,
right? You
Block
looked at this?
78, Lots 26 and 25. The subject premises is split zone. I'm sorry, what? Oh, sorry. The subject premises is split zone zoned Business X District in the portion of the property fronting Merrick Avenue, which is about 1.405 acres, and then the rear portion of the property is zoned Industrial Y District, about 1.886 acres, for a total acreage of the site of 3.29 acres. The property is currently vacant, but it previously held a 12,800 square foot vacant one-story stucco frame building, which contained a high turnover sit-down restaurant, Buffalo Wild Wings, if you're familiar, which consisted of 380 seats and a 4,000 square foot retail tenant space. The applicant is seeking to construct a 6-story hotel comprised of 120 guest rooms with hotel amenities such as a fitness area, study lounge, outdoor courtyard, billiards room, and a 3,547 square foot open rooftop bar, which will be open to the public and the hotel guests. The applicant is requesting special permit under Article XXVII, Section 272, E1 for hotel use in the industrial district, and special exception under the Article XXVII, Section 272E3, a floor area ratio in excess of 0.4 of any permitted use in the industrial district. After a meeting with the town building department, after the notices were sent out, based on different interpretations of the code, there's no longer a need for a height variance, and the maximum height required is 75 feet, but the proposed is 73 feet and 6 inches. So we no longer need that height variance. The proposed development exceeds the other zoning requirements, such as front yard setbacks, rear yard setbacks, parking requirements. And although the requested floor area ratio is 1.18, the number is calculated based on the area of the industrial portion of the subject premises only. And if the business portion of the subject premises was incorporated into the FAR calculations, the calculations would be 0.6781, which is only slightly above the permitted 0.40 FAR. I would also like to note, according to records foiled from the town building department, there's a Marriott hotel located a few blocks to the north, which had a granted special exception to exceed the floor area ratio of the 0.40 to a 1.53 FAR. Section 267 of the town code outlines the 4 main criterias for determining the approval should be given for these special exceptions, and I'd just like to go through those quickly. First, that the use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties within the adjacent use district. This proposed hotel will not prevent that orderly or reasonable use of the adjacent properties in the adjacent use district, as it fits within the character and the community and will enhance the area with a luxury hotel. As I mentioned before, there are another hotel a few blocks away, and then to the south there is the Selby Residence Apartment Hotel as well, and there's other restaurants in the area. Second, the use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of permitted or legally established uses in the district wherein the proposed use is to be located, or permitted or legally established uses in the adjacent use district. Again, this use fits within the character of the community, and said hotel will be self-contained on this property and therefore not preventing orderly or reasonable use of permitted or legally established uses in adjacent districts. Third, the safety and health and welfare, the comfort and convenience, or the order of the town will not be adversely affected by this proposed use and location. This proposed hotel will not adversely affect the safety, health, welfare, convenience, or order of the town. It's not an inherently dangerous use, and in the alternative, it will provide comfort and convenience to the area. I will have Mr. Wayne Muller speak on traffic how that will, if there will be any effect on the neighboring area. Lastly, this will the use be in harmony and promote the general purpose and the intent of the ordinance. As stated previously, there are other hotels in the vicinity. However, this hotel will be distinguishable from those other hotels, as it will be a high-end boutique option, filling the need for a luxury hotel in this area. Thus, this hotel will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the ordinance and help fill the need for the short-term stay of lodging in the area. In addition to Town Code of Hempstead, under Town Law Section 267, there are 5 criterias to consider the area variance, which are similar to the Town Code criteria, so I just want to touch on 2 of those 5. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved in some other method feasible to the applicant to pursue, and this hotel use and the greater FAR, it would only be permitted by the special use to have a hotel here. So there's no feasible alternatives.
Can you expand on that? So, how is it you came to the conclusion that this set of requests, that there's no other option but this? Because it seems like, I mean, generally I feel like there's a lot of options, but I'd rather hear what you have to say.
For a hotel use to be permitted in the business X district, in the industrial Y district, we would need the permitted special use, which is listed under the Town Code to be
The
granted.
use, but you wouldn't need to change FAR, you could still have a hotel, you know what I'm saying? Like,
For the FAR, we're slightly over if you take the entire parcel. And to have the luxury hotel that my client is seeking to have, we needed the space. It is only 120 units or rooms. So they felt that to give the luxury use here, they needed to have the square footage in the building that they're requesting. No, that was the previous restaurant. I was just going over what was previously on site. That was a Buffalo Wild Wings.
If the luxury units don't make it, you would have the option perhaps of subdividing these rooms, making them smaller than doing away with luxury?
I believe they're standard, like, hotel-sized units, so it's, I don't know if there'd be an option to, like, make them smaller.
I'm not a hotel expert, but 123 rooms, you said?
120.
Except for that one in Island Park that they're replacing. You used to go to that one, right?
What'd you tell everybody for?
I'm just sorry, bad joke.
So if this size of the building is only 100 and whatever, 20-something, 120 units, that seems pretty, in my mind, pretty small.
That's what she's saying, like a boutique luxury.
Yes, it is, yes,
But
it'll
what
be
if that,
boutique.
what if that fails? Are you going to perhaps revert to a normal size, like a Marriott or
So my client does not intend, at the
To
moment.
fail.
To have like a flag, come in, they want to run this as an independent hotel. You can look at the other apartment hotels that they have in the area and look at their success. So down two properties over, we have the Selby, which is an apartment hotel. It does have 27 units of hotel rooms that are, short-term stays, and they're constantly being booked, and they need more. One of the reasons for opening this hotel is because they need more availability for, that turnover, higher turnover demand for a luxury place. They also have the Vanderbilt, which is also similarly.
The what?
The Vanderbilt, which is Similarly, apartment hotel, and that is also constantly booked. So they felt that there was a need for this boutique hotel in the area.
If you said it already, how many, I apologize, if you said it already, because I was trying to get to the plans and they're big. How many of the rooms are more like the shorter, and how many of them are more like a apartment that I might live in for more than a year? And what other amenities? And if you already said, I apologize, I was trying to get to the plan.
Sure, no problem. So at this location, they will all be short-term stays. There are no long-term. There may be a few suites, but they're generally all the same. A short-term. There's no cooking facilities. Just general hotel amenities you would find. A mini fridge, maybe a coffee maker, maybe a microwave. But this is not a apartment. This is going to be a true hotel. And some of the other amenities that you'll find within the building, like we said, the rooftop bar, which will be open to the public, but you will also have, fitness center, studies, lounges, courtyard.
Wait, sunning lounges.
Sorry, studies and lounges and courtyard, a billiards room. So this is no pool.
Lounges like people lounge, or lounges like cocktail lounge?
People lounges. I mean,
Just a common space.
Yeah,
chair.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Some of my questions, I apologize in advance, but we had a case, and it's not fair to put this on you, but it led me to understand some of the things that need to be considered. We had a case that came before for a hotel, not quite as large as this, but fairly large, which was supposed to be a hotel with a parking garage, boutique hotel, mostly catering to individuals who come into the area from the airport, so they thought most of the people come by cab, et cetera, and they thought they might have like a Starbucks downstairs or something. So we approved the project. And after we saw it, and to me, in contrast to some of the things we considered in our analysis, it became no hotel and a giant mall-style thing with a couple anchor stores, a Trader Joe's, all kinds of stuff. The parking is a nightmare. And yeah, and it was literally, it wasn't unlike this originally, but not as many stories. So now I'm always a little gun shy about how it might, and that one was an extreme example, because it literally, I don't know if you remember that case, Mr. Muller. This was a hotel with a parking garage, they never really, but, and maybe a Starbucks, and now there's literally a couple anchor stores and a lot of stores, and it's really, and it's on a very busy road, it's really overuse of that space. So some of the questions that I might ask, if it seems silly, are to get a better handle, because I do think this looks beautiful. I just, that's why.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
You can always ask questions.
So basically, you're building a 120-room luxury hotel on Merrick Avenue. So let's say if there's a cricket match at Eisenhower Park, there's somewhere for people to stay.
Correct.
Or if somebody comes in to see, they live in Garden City and they need a hotel room, they don't have to go to the city.
Correct.
Or some.
Correct. And we also,
It's not like like the Selby, where it's basically residential long-term units.
Correct.
This is luxury hotel with the amenities that go with it.
correct.
That's so,
Yes, that is
and there
the
is a
concept.
tremendous need for that, actually. There is, in my opinion.
Yeah, we agree too. This is why my client, they bought the Selby, they built the Selby, they bought permanent properties, they built the Selby there. It's very successful. Like we said, that is an apartment hotel. They find that, people that are coming to visit, the people that are living at the apartments at the Selby, they don't have a place to go. We only have 27 rooms in the Selby. So further down the line, when this became available, my client thought this was a great opportunity for them to have this hotel that they could have as an amenity for the Selby residents, for their guests, friends and families to come. And same thing, like you had said, if there is an event, in the area at Eisenhower Park, they do have a luxury option to stay short-term.
Excuse me. You said the Selby only has 27 rooms?
They have 27 hotel rooms. It's 237, but 27 of them are strict hotel, short-term stay.
And my recollection is the Selby never came before this board, did it?
I don't believe so.
That might have been a change of zone
No.
with the town.
It's a that was a PUD.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
okay.
We didn't need a parking variance. Why? This is for the-
36.
No.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It's 120, 124.
Excuse me, what do you have on the roof?
I'm sorry?
What is on the roof of this building?
Oh, so the sixth floor, the roof is a rooftop bar, in portions of the area. It will be, serving food and drinks. It will be open to the public and to the residents of the, or not, sorry,
So
not
it's
residents,
like
but
it will be open 365 days a year. It's not open.
yeah, it's attended.
It's enclosed like a small restaurant?
Correct.
Okay.
Is it a restaurant also?
There will be food served, yes.
So it's a restaurant?
Yes.
How many tables?
We don't have we're working with a few operators right now to figure out where we end up going with this hotel. So my client doesn't have an exact number on
Is it
seating.
Is it the whole area or half of it or a quarter?
It's not the full rooftop. It's only 3,547 square feet.
So what percentage of that is the?
I believe it's almost 50, maybe a little less than 50.
Okay. And what other amenities are there?
For the hotel guests, there's a billiards room. There will be, lounges that they can utilize. There'll be a fitness area, no pool. There's an outdoor courtyard. So it's, general use of the area.
So what makes it boutique?
It's not going to be run as my client intends to not run it by a brand. It's going to be independently run. The finishes and what they offer in the hotel is going to be high-end luxury.
You mean better towels?
Yeah.
That's good. I'd like to hear more about the top floor, the restaurant.
Sure.
How many seats are you gonna have there?
We don't know at this point. We're working with different operators to see what what kind of offering we have there. One of the operators that we are speaking with are the operators of the Farm Italy that's next door and the shed. So that might be something that they might be taking over, but we don't know yet at this point.
Will it be like a cabaret also?
No,
No?
no,
No music, dancing, and
no. It'll just be, bar, maybe music through a speaker, but no live music.
was the parking calculated for that also?
Yes, it was. If you would like, I could have Mr. Mueller go through the traffic analysis and parking.
Okay. By the way, I do think it's a very attractive building. I hope it's going to end up actually looking like this if it's approved. Now, what about, for example, a landscaping plan? Because what we need more in this, around here is trees. And I do get a little concerned about, like, everyone comes to this board and argues about all the extra parking available at the mall. But surprisingly, almost any time of day we go over there, say in that area by Neiman Marcus, there's not even a faraway spot. I don't actually understand it. But, so, one thing that I think would be nice is if the parking for this place stayed the parking for this place. And one way that I think, and it would be consistent with this, the aesthetic of the proposal, like, you know those black estate fences, they're just metal lines? For example, and they're see-through still. Like, would you accept a condition, your client, that the entire parking area be surrounded by, say, a 4-foot estate fence? And maybe like inside of that some little greener, like, you know, shrub landscaping?
Sure, I think that would be amenable. There was a landscape plan that was included with the original site plan.
Since we're trying to work on this case and get things done a lot today, to the extent that we want to impose a condition, let's say, for our consideration on a landscape plan and that fence, if it was something that you still needed to come back for tweaking, let's say, maybe we could make a condition for purposes of our deliberations that there will be a landscape plan, and if you have it in here, fine, but you would agree that if once we look at it and think, you know, you need a few more trees, nothing in the street, that you would be amenable to that.
Yeah, sure.
And what about the fence, the black estate fence?
Yeah, I think we would be perfectly fine with having a condition with the state fence and the landscape plan. Obviously, just need to have breaks where we have ingress and egress from the.
Obviously.
Breaks for what?
Ingress and egress.
That's nice.
But,
And then,
yeah, and pedestrian crosswalks, you know, area that are going
it's
to be
mostly so
going
that
to
the parking for this stays the parking for this.
Sure.
And then, the lounge bar on the top, or the bar on the top floor, would you, client, accept the condition that if at any point that they wish to enlarge that, they would come back to us for it?
Sure.
I mean, I think that's some of the, so now the landscape plan, truly, I can't find anything because everything's so big. Is it on
It
the
was
plans?
it was part of, not the architectural plans, but it was part of the engineering plan. So I do have this version here.
Yeah, maybe we could just look at yours because there's not enough space up here to even get ours out. I think that estate fence is a really attractive. And circle back.
Do they have that around? No, they don't have that around the parking at the Garden City hotels. I don't believe they do. Do they have a state fencing by the Garden City Hotel? I know people in Garden City don't allow fences. They don't allow fences.
Hey, Amiss, first, would you mind taking a look at this with us? This is rough.
A little fencing. All right?
This is what. They agreed to the, see this, we're gonna turn that into, I don't know, maybe it could stay 6 feet, but it's gonna be black. Huh?
Open.
Black estate.
Where's the radius map on this one?
So, I just want your opinion on that. Wait, why is it there? Is the property line there? Oh, I see. Kinda wish they had it on the side.
Are they going to set it back?
Would you want to approach for a second so we can see? So, this, she's our most experienced person, that's what we're looking to have. So this is your drive, we were thinking that this is beautiful, too bad it's not on here too. You know,
I thought it was going to be right up front of
here,
the cell.
see how, but we can't tell why they say it here. Why does it say over road?
So this is part of
Oh, this isn't your property.
It is, but it is also part of the loop road. So have access to here. This is why we have the curves and the shrubs here. So you can drive all the way through behind all of grassy area here, grassy area here.
You're gonna wanna put some bushes, some nice little. I'm gonna go there after work. They have to put some nice little bushes down or hostas or something, I think that's gonna require you to put in sprinkler systems. Okay, that way. You think they probably already are doing it?
Maintain it.
Yeah, because you understand where I'm going with that, because if we have to put, if that limitation forces you to put in your system, you're gonna take it.
Yeah, my client will.
If that's what our, because you heard what her clear is, but that's the overall concept is to try to have landscaping in there to show that it's going to be inclusive. Oh my
Right.
God.
I got it.
You know, low bushes.
Have that too.
Yeah.
So if we were to put the condition that there be some low shrubs along here, and here,
We're gonna get cleaners food out because everybody's gonna take
and
some
maybe
home.
not that's it.
I don't know what kind of plates.
You know, so if we made a condition of that and a sprinkler system necessary to keep it taken care of.
And then with the estate fence, it'll.
And the estate fence, which I think is going to be good.
So, just, I'm just wanting to state that here, not here.
Why not here?
Because that's the part of Loop.
She said this is her
It is, we do own this parcel,
But they can't block off the section of the driveway. That,
yeah, so if we could just do the estate fence here, here, here.
right, because it's a shared road.
But this is their property.
We do own
It's an easement, it's like an easement.
yeah.
Well, even if this is an easement, why couldn't they go this right here? There's curbs anyway. Well, maybe we'll just write if possible. We're gonna have a condition that, to the extent possible, that on this, we'll figure out how to try this in the decision. There will be the estate fence on the whole perimeter where possible, and we're not a problem here.
Where?
They have an easement here, but I think they could still put the estate fence.
What's your easement for? Okay.
That goes all the way around, and goes all the way behind here, behind the buildings that are behind the fire station here. And
This is their,
it's a shared road, yeah.
so we,
I never went there. Too old.
I'll be brief.
I'll have Mr. Muller go through his analysis briefly on traffic.
I did earlier.
Thank you. Thank you. Wayne Muller, R&M Engineering, offices at 50 Elm Street, Huntington, New York. Just briefly for the record, we prepared a document that was previously submitted to the board. I provided additional copies today. As indicated in our report, and as displayed on the plans prepared by my firm, we are not seeking relief from the parking ordinance. In fact, we provide more parking on the property than what is required by the code. As indicated in my report, the traffic generated by the proposed hotel and rooftop bar concept generates significantly lesser quantities of traffic than the Buffalo Wild Wings and 4,000 square foot retail space that formerly existed on the property. As indicated in my report, if the board were to approve this project, it's my professional opinion that there'll be no significant impacts to parking conditions in and around the subject property, and that the traffic generated by the hotel, rooftop restaurant / bar concept, will not create any issues with traffic within the area. Happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any.
Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, as you were a part of the discussions we had here with a couple of conditions that we think are agreeable, that I'd like to just put on the record before we consider it. And that, because I understand there's some time sensitivity here. But we discussed a black estate fence around the already proposed landscape area, but also where possible along the shared road that does belong to the applicant and around that entire perimeter. So to the extent possible, in terms of accessibility and the requirements of your easement that's been granted, then it would be that sort of landscaping, some low hedges, and the black estate fence remaining see-through around the whole perimeter, and that interior perimeter, where possible, in the same locations, sprinkler system designed to obviously keep it in good shape, and then a condition that, to the extent that there's ever a wish to expand the roof deck bar, that your client would agree to come back before the board for that.
Yes.
So with that in mind, with those conditions agreed to, I would then, Mr. Chairman, move that case 1315, which is Beechwood 737 Merrick LLC, affecting the property at 737 Merrick Avenue near Westbury, be approved with those conditions.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Those caveats, could you get us a copy of to the extent you're altering it anyway, the landscape plan to show the state?
Yeah.
And wherever we can, put in the land.
Yep, no problem.
So that council to the board has the most updated plan
Yep.
to write the decision.
Yep, of course, no problem. I will get that over to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
When does your client think it will be built?
So from time that we get permits, we're expecting 18 to 24 month build construction period. So it's 2025. You know, if we get permits in 2026, be open in 2028, somewhere around
this
there.
entity, this 737, is that the entity which will continue to own and control it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Have a good project.
Thank you. I'm sorry? I know. Well, we'll try our best to do it quicker. Thank you very much.
Two.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Decisions. 453 of 25 and 454 of 25, North Belmore, Matthew Corliss. Property address 1614 Blue Street. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file number 453 of 25 and 454 of 25, North Belmore, Matthew Corliss, variance lot area, maintained wood deck, attached to pool, variance side yard, be granted as requested.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next case is, sure.
Should we include pool conditions with that?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, pool conditions. The pool, it was a deck, it wasn't a pool. Yeah.
Include pool conditions though, or?
Well, look at it when you do it, Stephen.
Well, it's gonna be, right, the deck is to remain open,
Yes.
Yes.
so it's gonna be with conditions.
Okay. 455, 56, 57, 58, 59.
On that, we also, I wrote down no further enclosure of the outdoor barbecue area. Because you know, it's like,
Yeah. Washington E. and Catherine F. Lara.
okay,
Property address 35 Springtime Lane, Levittown.
I move, Mr. Chairman, that cases 455 through 459 of 2025, affecting the property at 35 Springtime Lane in Levittown, be approved as requested with a condition that the outdoor barbecue area not be further enclosed or further, including any top roof on it, than it already has, and whatever other pool conditions are relevant to the pool approval.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? West Hempstead. Case 460 of 2025, West Hempstead, Sandra Vanisham and Jack Biamonte. That property is 462 Madison Avenue in West Hempstead. Any comments, any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make the motion on case 46025, West Hempstead, variance lot occupied, construct one-story addition attached to dwelling, with conditions.
That it be approved.
As requested. As requested.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Case 461 of 2025, West Hempstead, Linda Williams. Property address is 1078 Christopher Court. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 461 of 25, West Hempstead, Linda Williams, located at 1078 Christopher Court, be approved as requested with the carport and the wood deck to remain open.
Second. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Woodmere, we need a secret determination. 135 Irving LLC, property address is, I was out of the room for that case, so
Oh, I
Couture.
wanted to ask about that. Why does it need height and exceeds number of stories? I mean, besides, except that it's 33 feet instead of 30.
It's 3 stories.
Or maybe alternatively, they have 3 stories, but they make it down to 30 feet, or it's up to you. I agree. You want to look at it again, and then we'll deal with it next week? Well, you know what I mean by look at
I'll
it.
take a peek.
And then just as an FYI, BizX,
I'll go down there and take a peek also.
So anyway, the height for a BizX, no building shall be greater in height than 2 stories and shall not exceed a maximum height of 30 feet.
Right.
But again, you're also with, you have that requirement, but you also have a lot area of 70%.
So there is a bit of a trade-off, you
And
know?
this is only 19% off.
Yeah, correct.
To be honest, he could build a whole lot more building if he did that, because he would have all the parking needs and,
But you need number of stories, wouldn't you?
yeah, well, it depends if he, well, we would probably give him 2 stories plus parking, but if he's putting parking underneath, his K&A's only at 19.
Of 2025, Aaron Zelig in West Hempstead. That case has been adjourned to October 1st at 2 p.m. Next 2 cases.
If I can just make mention to the next 2 cases, I do not believe that we took a secret, we did not make a secret determination. We will need one. Our calendar doesn't reflect it because it was add-ons.
I was going to say, why
Correct.
is there no
Both of them.
secret?
Because they were add-ons, so it wasn't.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so on case 1315, we need a secret determination. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Go ahead. No, I'll do the next one.
Based upon,
No, you.
I move on case number 1316 to 25. Are we doing
1314.
1315 of 20,
15.
1315 of 25, Beechwood 737 Merrick LLC. I move that we adopt a negative secret declaration as to the secret determination based on testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed. Motion was granted from the bench, 1315 of 25 Westbury.
Make a motion, wait, yeah, on case 1316 of 2025, affecting the property at 3915 Austin Boulevard near Island Park, that based on the testimony, the materials in the file, and the other evidence provided, along with any and all independent inquiry that made by the various board members, that we adopt a negative declaration as a secret determination.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that case was also
Yeah,
granted from the bench.
You're recused.
And you are recused.
Yes.
Joanne.
Okay. So I do have an update on one other case that was brought up very briefly. It was a request for modification of daycare.
Yes.
So apparently, the daycare, the amount of parking needed does not increase.
Okay.
That was
Great.
but that's, again, as per the attorney. But apparently, how it works with daycares, you need 1 parking space for 15 children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, makes
So-
sense, because it's always drop off, but,
And then it's only for the amount of caretakers,
Right.
which from 19 to 25, apparently that does not increase the population.
all right, so.
So there aren't any other caretakers for a total of 6 more children?
Correct. So apparently how it works, it depends on the ages. So it makes sense. If you have 10 infants or you have 10 10-year-olds, it's going to be very different.
Right, agreed.
So that's apparently how it works.
If you have 10 41-year-olds, you may need more care.
Correct.
So do we have the,
Yeah.
and if you had 10 81-year-olds, you're funny.
10 51-year-olds. You better rob a bank.
All right. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to move as it relates to case number 88 of 2025. It's the application of ZNR Daycare, Inc. The property is located at 2434 Grand Avenue in Ballwood. That we grant the modification requested by the applicant, which is to alter condition 9, which currently reads, enrollment shall not exceed 19 children, ages 13 months to 12 years, that we modify that condition to allow up to 25, provided all other regulatory and legal requirements as to the state and the county and childcare, and all licensing is appropriate and all conditions are met.
And I would also add the condition that this does not increase the amount of spaces, that it's the parking, the waiver remains X amount of spaces.
Okay, but we are not, by this decision, altering the amount of spaces previously granted by way of a parking waiver.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was the fastest okay.
Are we done?
Patrick, I think. All in favor?